Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is, everyone. This is Lex at LexReads, and today I'm going to be doing my very first Unhaul. So just as a disclaimer, I'm not saying that any of these books are bad books necessarily. I'm a really big fan of passing on books and getting books that have been loved by another owner, or like giving a book on so that it can live a brand new life with a new person who will love it so much more than I possibly can. So here are the books that I've decided to take on down to the used bookstore so that someone else can find them and love them. This first book I've had for literally ever. My sister gave it to me when I was like super young, and I never really liked it. It's just like, it's pretty, it's called His Other Girlfriend. It's pretty standard. It's fine. The tagline is, I wanted Paul to get over me, at least I thought I did. It's just not my favorite book in the world. And I think that someone else will love it, and I don't. This next book is one of those books that you just loved when you were a younger reader, and now that you're older, just can't get behind. This is the first book in a series, and I never finished the series because I loved it then, but I never got around to picking up the next one. And then by now I would just have to reread the whole thing, and it's quite a feat. It's Kissed by an Angel by Elizabeth Chandler. And it's the first 3 books in No. This one's a trilogy. This is the first book in the trilogy. It's quite big. I think it's 2,000 pages or something. That's probably excessive. Either way, I just wasn't a huge fan. I was a huge fan, but it's time for me to send it on its way. This next book I'm giving away because I own 2 copies of it. This is I Heart You, You Haunt Me by Lisa Schroeder. And this book is super cool. Super cool. I highly suggest it. It's not chapters, it's poetry-esque. So all the prose is told through poetry, and it's so cool. So if you like paranormal romance for the YA reader, I highly suggest picking this up. It's short, it's a quick read, it's easy to get through, and I love it so much that I have 2 copies. This one needs a new home. This next book I read in a book club when I was about 12, and I hated it then, and I've never picked it up since because I hated it then. This is Savvy by Ingrid Law, and I bet this is actually a really good book, right? I feel like I just didn't give it a fair shot, but I just really, honest to God, can't get into it. I maybe should have tried harder, but I really just think that someone else is going to pick up this book and think it's just such a magical world and think it's so fun. It's about how everyone in this family has savvy, or a superpower, and they're all really cool. What is hers? I don't remember. It doesn't say, and I don't remember what it is. This next book is another one of those books that I loved then and then never got into. I think this might be a series, but it also might be a standalone. I'm not sure. This is Blue Bloods by Melissa de la Cruz. And it's a vampire story, hence the vampire bite. It's a good story, I liked it, but I don't see myself ever reaching for it and ever picking it back up, so I figured I might as well just let someone else love it. This one, I still am not 100% sure I'm going to part with. This is Kim Harrison's For a Few Demons More. And the reason I don't really want to part with this book is because it's an advanced reader's copy. And I didn't get this as an advanced reader copy. It's years and years old. I was too young to be doing any of this kind of stuff back then. But I found it at one of my favorite used bookstores and thought it was so cool, so I bought it. The book was fine. I'll never pick it up again. It was an alright story. I had to do all the research on the backstory because I didn't read the first 3, because I think this is the 4th in a series. So that was my fault, partially. I bet if I read the whole series, I would love it. It's like a demon hunter story. But I think it's time for it to find a new home. This next story is another one I just really couldn't get into, and I tried. I tried so hard. This is Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, and I wanted to love this series. Everyone talked about it, everyone raved about it, everyone, like, you know, they made a movie out of it. Like, I got about 200 pages in, and I just couldn't do it. It just, like, something about it felt like it was dragging on, and that was the first book in the series. So how in the world am I supposed to get through, 3 more, 4 more? Ooh, that would have been rough for me. That would have been just so rough for me. I don't know if I could have done it, so I'm going to let someone else take a gander at this, and hopefully they love the series and it becomes a cherished favorite. This next book is, surprise, surprise, another book from a series. This is the Thirst, Human Urges, Fatal Consequences series, and this is the first book by Christopher Pike. They're big. Not like huge. I mean, they're just like pretty big. They're 600 words, 600 pages, 700 pages, something like that. And it's another vampire story, which I can be into. I think I bought this when I was younger to fill the Twilight void. You know, the like emptiness that we all got after we finished reading Twilight, and I just never, it didn't fill it. And I never got into it, and I never bought the rest of them, so I'm gonna let this one go on too. I'm like throwing them onto the chair. That's why I keep like awkwardly turning. This next book is a book that I actually like loved when I first read it, but I tried a couple weeks ago to like get back into it and to reread it, and I just couldn't. It wasn't me anymore, and it didn't feel right anymore. This is The Hollow by Jessica Verde? I'm sorry. I'm so bad at names. But this is a saga, and this is the first one in the saga, and I loved it then, but I, once again, never picked up the sequels. At this point, I'd have to go back and read the whole thing and buy the whole thing, and it's probably impossible to find it with this cover anymore. It would just be a whole mess. I couldn't even get past the second or third chapter. It's time for it to live a new life with someone else. This next one is another first book in a series. Wow. Are we seeing a theme here? I'm seeing a theme here. This is Matched by Ali Condi. It was fine. I didn't love it as much as everyone else seemed to, and then I've heard horrible things about the sequels, so I figured I'd just let it go on. Maybe someone will find love in the entire series, and that'll be super cool, but it's not me. I'm not the person for this book. This next book is a classic that makes me want to claw my ears off or something. This is Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. I hate this. None of the other books that I've said the title of I like actually hated, but this one I hate. It's horrible. It's such a bad book. It's a bad book. I don't care what anyone says. It's not ingenious. It's not reinventing literature. I don't even think it's a Christ story. I think it's just about a dude fishing, and I don't like it. It's bad. It's not my taste. If it's your taste, buy my copy from the used bookstore. I don't know. It's beautiful, and it's hard copy, and it's in great condition. I will never read this. I didn't even want to read this. It's like 100 and something pages, and I didn't even want to read this when it was assigned in English class. So, no to this. No. We're done with this. The next book I have is Rich Shapiro's Arms from the Sea. I was gifted this for free, and not like gifted as in like a present. I was just like given this. And I read it. I did read it. It's pretty good. I'll do a review if you want. Something about the writing just didn't speak to me. It's really beautiful and lyrical, and that's usually something I love, but I just couldn't get behind it. And it's a short book, so I finished it off, right? I think it's like 190 pages or somewhat. And I finished it off, and then I was like, okay, it's time for this to not be on my shelf anymore. The cover is beautiful. The sleeveless cover is gorgeous too, right? It's got like the black spine, and then the design, and it's so pretty, and it like looks really gorgeous on a shelf, but I didn't love it, and I think someone else could. And it's cool because it's a multimedia experience. There's like a playlist and a song for each chapter. It's a cool experience, and I mean, I suggest it if you really like lyrical writing. It's a short read. And the last book in this Unhaul is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Ultimate Guide. So this is super cool. It's kind of like Scott Westerfeld's Bogus to Bubbly. It has like a a thing about all the characters and a thing about all the gods, and it's super cool, and the idea of it is super awesome. And I loved it when I was younger, you know, and I was super obsessed with the Percy Jackson series when I was like 11. But I don't really need it on my shelf anymore, and there's probably another person out there who doesn't have this, who would like jump at the chance to have this gorgeous addition to the collection. So I'm gonna let someone have it, someone who really, really wants it and really, really is gonna love it. Alright guys, so that's my book unhaul. Stay tuned for more videos, and I can't wait to read with you this summer. Go down, like, leave a comment, subscribe, let me know if there's any videos you want to see, and I will see you guys soon. Mwah.